Hi, I'm Mel Rapozo, candidate for Kauai County Council. And although I'm sixth generation Kauai native, this is where really it all began for us here in Omao. This is the home of my great grandfather, John Medeiros, and we spent most of our growing up weekends here. And figured I'd come back and just take a look at where it all began. The house still is in the family, and my Auntie Allie's inside. And this is where we were taught about the values and the importance of our land and our resources. And that's kind of why I want to get back into the county council. I mean, this tangerine tree is the same tangerine tree that was here 40 years ago, 45 years ago. This house is 112 years old. And much of what was here back then is still here today. And this is really why I feel it's important to preserve what we have. And this is why I think it's important that we stand up and be counted, because if we fail to protect and preserve what we have, this will be all gone. And I just don't want to see that. So as we approach the general election on November 2nd, I humbly ask that you consider me for one of your council votes, because I want to be that voice that protects and preserves what we have here on Kauai. Thank you. Oh, and I can remember being out here a long time ago when I was a little kid running around.
Yeah, and the big boss, you know, and you were a very behaved kid.
Really?
Yeah. We used to enjoy you, and we still do, and you're a wonderful person.
I can remember all the fruit trees and
Oh yes, the
macadamia
mangoes, macadamia nuts, tangerines,
all still
papayas,
here. Yeah.
bananas.
That was a long time ago.
Very long time ago. And I'm getting younger.
Me too. You know what's funny is how everybody called me the Kolo boy.
Yes, you are named Koroa boy. Not Kolo boy, we say Koroa boy.
Koro boy.
Yes.
And I wasn't even from Kolo.
No.
That was cool. You know, I was honored whenever I came in. People would ask, "Hey, Koro boy, Koro boy."
Yeah.
But that's why I love Koloa. That's why I love Omao. I mean, I still think this is where we really.
You have to
started.
love all of us too.
Of course.
Yes.
Especially you, Auntie.
I've seen you grow up to be a man today, and I'm voting for you, and I know you'll do very good for Kauai.
I'm Mel Rapozo, candidate for Kauai County Council, and I'm sitting here right in front of Kekaha Beach. What used to be a beautiful white sandy beach here is now just a beautiful ocean that's coming onto the rocks. Erosion is impacting all over the island. I know we hear a lot about the Aliomano and the North Shore, but the fact of the matter is that erosion doesn't discriminate. As long as there's development and coastal development, we're gonna see the impacts of erosion. And again, what was once a beach here is no longer a beach. And you know, while I was on the county council, I fought hard for the preservation of our coastlines. In fact, I co-authored a bill, which is now a law, that is the strictest law, shoreline protection law in the country. And I intend to continue that fight, because we only have one coastline, and it is my concern that if we continue on the way we're going, eventually the whole island will look like this, and we cannot have that. Not here, not on Kauai. And I ask for your consideration for one of your votes, because I want to continue that fight. I want to continue that fight for the beaches and for the people that enjoy these beaches, and for future generations to be able to enjoy what we've all had the pleasure of enjoying. So again, this is Mel Rapozo, and I ask for your consideration. For the sake of our coastlines and our beaches, please consider one of your votes for me. Thank you. Hi, this is Mel Rapozo, candidate for Kauai County Council, out here in sunny Kekaha, standing in front of the Kekaha landfill, which has been here on the west side for several decades now, and will be at capacity anywhere from 5 to 7 years. What that means is that we got to find a new location. We got to find a new site for our landfill very quickly. And one of my promises, one of my campaign goals is to inform the people that I support the siting and development of a new landfill. One of the things I've done, and I've fought real hard for the West Side community, was the host community benefit, which is where the county will compensate the community that hosts the landfill so that they can improve the quality of their lives in their neighborhoods. Kekaha has been a recipient of over $800,000 now, and I plan to continue that crusade to get that monies available to any community that hosts the landfill. You know, in my opinion, the new landfill should be more centrally located. But regardless of where it goes, the community should be compensated. And I will continue to fight for that host community benefit because I think the community deserves it, because they are taking on the huge task of taking on the burden of such a massive public safety and public health issue. So just my commitment that I will continue to strive for public health and safety, and that in fact the community that eventually will be hosting the next landfill will be compensated fairly through our host community benefit program. Again, my name is Mel Rapozo. I'm running for county council, and I humbly ask for your consideration in one of your council votes. Thank you very much.
Aloha. My name is Jose Bulatao Jr., and it is my pleasure to speak in behalf of Mel Rapozo, a candidate for the Kauai County Council. I am asking all of Kauai, those of you who vote, to please seriously consider casting one of your precious votes for Mel Rapozo. And I have a specific reason for that. Out here in Kekaha, we have been host to the landfill since 1953. And Mel Rapozo, while he was on the council several years ago, was the instrumental representative to the council who made it possible for our community to get the host community benefit for this community. And I think having Mel back on the council will do wonders for Kekaha as well as for the rest of the island. So I ask you, please cast one of your votes for Mel Rapozo. Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Mel Rapozo, candidate for Kauai County Council, and I'm walking here at the Hanapepe Veteran Cemetery, which is the final resting spot for many of our local war heroes and military veterans and their families. And you know what I think is probably one of the most sacred spots on Kauai. You know, the history that runs through this place, you know, gives me chicken skin every time I come over here, and I'm so blessed and honored to have had the opportunity to be on the county council at a time when this place needed some help, and I'm very proud of being able to get some funding for this cemetery so we could improve the building as we look in back of me, obviously in need of some repairs, and the funding was approved, and I'm told that the repairs will begin shortly. We also was able to provide funding for an extra caretaker and equipment and supplies so that our veterans here who are laid to rest will be able to rest in a place that we can be proud of, that in fact these people deserve. You know, many of them here gave the ultimate sacrifice and gave their lives for us so that we can be free and we can do what we want. And it's only appropriate that the County of Kauai treat this facility with the utmost respect. So I'm honored and privileged to have had that opportunity to help in that way. And for those veterans and the families that are serving today and that have served in the past, I was able to introduce a bill that actually got passed and provided a real property tax credit for veterans that own homes. And although that tax credit no longer exists, you know, as a commitment to the veterans and their families is that should I be reelected, I will do all that I can to make sure that tax credit gets implemented again, because I think they deserve that so very much. We cannot thank our veterans enough. We simply cannot thank our veterans enough for the sacrifices. And if you look here and you see all the flowers, and all the little shrines from the families and friends. There is no way we can thank a family of a veteran enough for giving the ultimate sacrifice. So I want that opportunity again. I want to be back on a council. I want to be able to offer the veterans and their families, the military families here on Kauai, what they deserve. And that's my commitment to you, is that should I get back on the county council, the veterans of this island will be a top priority. This facility will be a top priority. This facility should be the best looking facility of any of the county facilities because of what it represents and because of the sacrifices that have been made by so many men and women in our military. And I ask you to help me on that fight. Help me help the veterans and help me restore this place to where it needs to be, to pay the proper tribute to our veterans and our military leaders here and our military families. I ask that you consider one of your votes for Mel Rapozo on the general election. Thank you very much.
Yes, Mel has been a very good friend of us veterans here. He was instrumental on many occasions of getting funds for the veterans in this particular cemetery. Initially, we did get several things that to me is very important to the veterans. One, he did get the maintenance fund to also include an additional body here to keep this particular cemetery nice and very pristine as far as we see it today. I certainly will have to ask my veteran friends to go ahead and vote for Mel for council, because he is the right man for us veterans and our veterans family. So please vote for Mel Rapozo. Thank you.